of minimum deviation for a prism. Introduction. A ray incident on a prism gets deviated due to refraction. The angle made by the emergent ray with the incident direction is called angle of deviation, delta. The angle of deviation varies with the angle of incidence. It is minimum corresponding to the angle of incidence I equal to the angle of emergence E. If A is the angle of the prism, then we have I plus E is equal to A plus delta. Aim: to determine the angle of minimum deviation for a given prism from the graph of angle of deviation against angle of incidence. Apparatus: a prism, a drawing board, white paper, 4 long pins, drawing pins. Procedure: fix the paper on the drawing board with drawing pins. Let us draw a line XY along the length of the paper. Mark a point O1 on the line XY. Draw O1 and 1 normal to XY at these points. At O1, draw a line O1P making an angle of 35 degrees with the normal. A prism has 2 highly polished refracting surfaces and an unpolished surface called base. Let the triangular face of the prism be denoted by ABC. The angle of the prism A is the angle between the 2 refracting surfaces AB and AC. It is 60 degrees as the 3 faces form an equilateral triangle. Let us record the observation. Angle of the prism A is equal to 60 degrees. Now place the glass prism on the paper so that its refracting surface, say AB, lies along the line XY and centered on O1. Now, fix 2 long pins P' and Q' on the line O1P at least 5 cm apart. Here, angle of incidence I is equal to 35 degrees. Observe the images of the pins P' and Q' from the side AC. Fix the long pins R' and S' at least 5 cm apart such that they appear to lie in line with the images of P' and Q'. Draw the line AC along the emergent face of the prism. Remove the prism and mark the positions of the long pins with small circles around them. Draw S' R' and produce it to meet AC at R and P' Q' produced at the point T. Draw the normal RM and the refracted ray O1R. Now, let us measure the angle of emergence and the angle of deviation. Here, angle of emergence, angle MRS' E is equal to 66 degrees and angle of deviation, angle RDT delta is equal to 41 degrees. Let us record the observations in the observation table. I is equal to 35 degrees. E is equal to 66 degrees. Delta is equal to 41 degrees. The determination of emergent and deviation angle for incident angle equal to 40 degrees (45 degree) 50 degree and 55 degree is done, and observations are tabulated in the table. A graph between the angle of deviation delta on the y-axis and the angle of incidence I on the x-axis with a suitable origin, say 30 degree and 30 degree, and scale is plotted. The y-coordinate of the lowest point of this curve, which gives the angle of minimum deviation. Drop a perpendicular on the x-axis from the point of minimum deviation. Note the corresponding angle of incidence is I0 is equal to 48 degree. Result: the angle of minimum deviation for the given prism is delta M is 36.9 degree. Angle of incidence is I0 corresponding to delta M is equal to 48 degree. Notes and precautions. 1. A sharp pencil should be used to draw all the lines. 2. Measure the angles and draw the lines very accurately. 3. The prism should be placed very accurately on the line XY. 4. The long pins must be fixed on a line about 5 cm apart. 5. To trace the emergent ray for a particular angle of incidence, observe the bases of the pins and not their heads.